Puhadiapa, this camp, also known as English name Thacker Pass. Out here on the about, I would say, 20 miles from the nearest gas station, and from that place to the nearest town, another, I don't know, 50 somewhere on miles, not that far, maybe 40. Today's update was pretty brief. The weather changed here pretty fast. Where we are, there's no other lights except the town 20 miles away. It's beautiful, beautiful land. This is Pihimaha land. This is also the Red Mountain people's land. But the Pihimaha is the name of the area. There's an English name called Thacker Pass. And wind is blowing hard. I'm very fortunate to be warm in here. There's not quite a bit happening yet. We had an unmarked helicopter fly over this afternoon. The day before, we had 3 vehicles that peeped around through, and we documented the license plates, but mainly just documenting and droning the areas, documenting the lithium test sites. These are in public lands, and from what I'm learning is that their mining claim should have been only 5,000 acres. During the Trump era, they pushed it through to 17,500 acres. They're looking at around 4,000 gallons of water a day to use this for this mine. So there's quite a bit of learning about these corporations on what they do to get these permits fast tracked and pushed through with no public comment and without indigenous consultation on this indigenous land, which all from one side of the United States to the other is indigenous land. So there are sacred sites here. Pihimaha is about an old massacre that happened in this territory. Pihimaha. And so these are unmarked burial sites. Where exactly am I? It is about, I'm in my RV right now, and it's a candle. I'll maybe get a little closer so you guys can see me. I'm in an area outside of Orvada, and it's open to water protectors or land defenders. Come self-reliant. Media is important here, and so far I'm the only media. Fortunate to have a pretty large following in social media, so been able to get the message out. Just did an interview yesterday with Cut to the Chase, which we posted here, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done in solidarity and support here. Also, documenting the airspace on which aircrafts are coming across. I know there's an app for that, and there's so much more we got to do with this to help just educate the public and community on what's coming their way. Now, we went from the fossil fuel industry. As you guys heard today, Keystone XL pipeline was canceled. And that is a blessing with all the hard work the tribe's been doing, the allies been doing, the community, people, all around the area. And Biden did his role in stopping that as well. But it doesn't stop the flow of oil. It just changes its trajectory for them to be pushing it in through diesel, through transport, through train. So here, as we were looking at more sustainability, to be more sustainable and the best we can, I'm really a little upset because tribes don't even get to be here sustainable and to the green new era because we haven't even got there yet. In our homelands, Nevada, Namaga, the land of the Paiute and Shoshone people, the Washoe people, the three nations. You know, Nevada is one of the richest mineral states in the world, and tribes are in poverty here in their own homelands, statistically as well as systematically. Not only, as the state and the tribes or the corporations, swell around us financially, the tribes still struggle to hold this government accountable for its forefathers' promises to indigenous people. Many people don't know that when Western culture got here, they were fleeing religious. They were religious immigrants, political and refugees, fleeing a country to another one where they could learn how to pray in their own way or find a new life away from the kings and queens. And unfortunately, there was nothing that they had to offer indigenous people but these promises, your forefathers' promises. Indigenous people did teach them how to eat, survive off the land. And there's many stories around those with the Wampanoag Nation, the Mohawks, you know, the Six Nations down there that you can, look up online and hear a first account experiences through indigenous eyes, through an indigenous lens, these stories. So much to learn, so much healing that is needed, not just from colonizing. The need for more is so much. Where's it going to come from? Well, the minerals in the ground is where it's going to come from. Indigenous communities is where it's going to come from. Places that have the least protection in protecting the land and the sacred, the natural law, which are the animals, the the flowers, the plants, the medicines in the ground. These are the things that we call the natural law, the most vulnerable. And we have some educating to do on what it means to protect the sacred, protect our land, protect each other as human beings together. We can't go backwards. Indigenous people are asking allies and Western culture to hold the government accountable for the forefathers, hold them accountable for these promises made when there was nothing to barter with. And here, it's kind of hard when we're looking at accountability because these are foreign companies coming into our homelands. So, once again, back out in the front lines. Once again, doing what I can to educate. So we need your help to come stand in solidarity, come self-reliant. And what does that mean to be self-reliant? It means to have your own tent, bring water, like 5 gallon, you know, um, bottles of water. There is water close. It's 20 miles away. Close, right? We do make regular runs to there and garbage runs, and we re-up on supplies. Sleeping bag. It was cold last night, really cold, and I woke up with a sore throat. I'm okay. We had a couple mother and daughter come in and stand in support, and they froze. They had the wrong sleeping bag. They froze. So we got some work to do here, and decolonizing the process. This place is beautiful. If you're not used to rattlesnakes, there are rattlesnakes around here, and other snakes, bull snakes, cows. So this is a grazing area too. So don't pet the cows. Coyotes, mountain lions, beautiful birds in the morning. It's Ahuquapa Huvia. It's these birds. You can hear their songs on the wind. It's beautiful in the morning time. There's no light pollution. There's no sound pollution. The energy is strong here. The medicine and prayers are strong here. So on the weekends, it swells up. There's around between 80 plus people that come out and support from tribes and from all around Oregon, Idaho, Nevada. So there is support, and we're looking for media support. On the ground, community journalists to come in, and you can always support Digital Smoke Signals. At just inbox me. But it's one way to support, and so we can continue to protect the sacred and continue to share these stories. One of the things here is there's no other power, so it's important to be able to have some type of power here. It's like I just really think about the hypocrisy in Retta lithium mine, and what we're using is lithium. It's almost like no other choice for us to be able to share this way. Where I'm sitting, there is a proposed 400-foot mining pit. And the lithium you can see from the air in the ground. And there's, from what I found out today, there's thousands of proposed lithium mines here in Nevada. I'm the last generation in my family that went to boarding school. I'm also the generation that witnessed the loss of their food source. Our trout in our lake, in Walker Lake, which is the lake is called, it's a colonized name, Walker. The name is called Agaipa, trout water. And it's probably 10 times drier in my homelands. And when the wind blows like it does here, it turns into a big old dust bowl. And sometimes when the wind does blow for several days, our area will be completely browned out. The sun will be completely gone, and it'll be because of dust, alkali, coming from over 100 miles away over the alkali flats, past Valley, Nevada, over the mountains into our territory. And everything gets all dusty that way. We've definitely seen the environment change. After all of our fish were gone in the lake, we've seen the natural law change. The amount of insects that were there because they were no longer, food. So this pandemic that hit brought back a lot of the natural law, a lot of the medicines, a lot of the birds. It was actually, you can see the change of the ecosystem. On one of our lakes over here, Pyramid Lake, the fish were plentiful there. They were huge, up to like 3 feet. They were big. And yeah, are you doing something? Yes. Okay. And okay, it's a little bit more. We're charging something here, and we got a charger on there. So participate in the hypocrisy, right? Trying to prevent something using what we're preventing. We do have a choice today, but the best we can do is educate that our mother is getting desecrated, Mother Earth. Bia Depa and Paiute. This Bia Depa, Mother Earth. We need to protect the sacred, protect what's around the best we can. I'm going to cut off here for a minute and just say that Bija Numayaro Numashinami in a good way. We're out here. If you want to come out here, inbox me. They're open for people to come and hold the line, and it's quiet right now. There's so much to do. There's also reaching out and educating about what lithium is. The green lie is what I'm hearing that it's called, the green lie. And what tailings will be left over with 4,000 gallons of water a day. Can you imagine that? 4,000 gallons. We hardly have any water here in Nevada. The mines are using that. If you combine all of the mines in Nevada, they got to be pumping more than 50,000 gallons of water a day. Unreal. So, we're going to do our best to just stand in solidarity together. I'll keep bringing you guys updates. You guys got questions, inbox me. Research yourself. Research. Take the time to research, and you can always let's crowdsource some solutions here. Another company that I learned about that came out and wants to do the remediation after the mining is called DuPont, who does not have a good track record, which pollute they with chemicals contaminated every individual around the planet with Teflon. And so there's so much we got to learn. Look at Dark Waters on Amazon with Mark Ruffalo, and it really gives you an overview of Teflon and DuPont. They were here giving a presentation, and it just kind of just forked tongue is what we were seeing from these guys. Forked tongue. They didn't record anything. They made promises on jobs. That's what they do in Nevada, and our people need jobs. We got a copper mine in my tribe that our own council was promoting these jobs on the Facebook. You know, these places are killing our areas, are killing our homelands. We only have one source of water in my tribe, and it's what happens if that goes out. You know, we're gonna struggle. Our farmers, you know, assimilation process was kill the Indian, save the man, and teach them to farm. We have farmers, and we're not growing food, but they're growing food over on the other side with that same water, right next to a Superfund site. Urinton, Nevada. The Urinton, Nevada tribe cannot drink its water. It has to be bottled water. Right across the river, Urinton gets to drink its water. McDermott, their water is also contaminated. Something's wrong here. And, you know, the tribes don't have the technology or the tools or the finances to test their own water to make sure it is drinkable, make sure it's okay for the next 7 generations. So these are one of the things we got to do, relatives. And we, with your help and solidarity, that's something we could do together. There's only around 2% of indigenous people left here in the United States, stretching it to 2.5. And we are the witnesses of all the atrocities that happened. We're the reminders of the boarding school era, like our relatives in Canada when they found the 215 children. They happened at all these boarding schools around the United States as well. I can tell you what, if the United States found 215 veterans or children in a mass grave, they would be doing all kinds of memorials all over the world, all over the United States, in every news station. So we need your help to spread this out, because the invisibility of what's happening to indigenous people in indigenous lands is still strong as invisibility in the media. We need independent media, social media, as many people as we can to share these stories, educate yourself. If you don't know, reach out. I'll do what I can to continue to educate and help you along in a good way, good mind, good heart. And we can start the healing process together. And we may not see it in our lifetime, the healing of Mother Earth. This pandemic, in the year that it was here, almost feels like it should have, you know, we should have been in that distancing for the next 3-4 years, and then we could have started to really see the earth heal itself. The sky is clean, the air is clean, the water getting purified. But the problem with that is the corporations seen it as a fast way, a fast track to push through these destructive projects to contaminate the land for profit over people. And that's got to stop. So Pija Numayaro. It's raining. Many blessings there toward you, your family. Thank you for listening. Sparndu Digital Smoke Signals, documenting through community journalism through indigenous eyes. Pija Tumia.